Good afternoon. Give it honor to God. I'm Robert Brown, and until recently I was the State Senate Democratic leader. I resigned from that to run for mayor of Macon. And those of you who have been in campaigns know that it is important for you to be on the battlefield every day. Amen. But I want to tell you, I think it's not robbery to be here this afternoon, taking time off from the campaign trail to support the Quitman 10. There are a number of other people who are going to join me shortly and make some remarks. But before I bring the next speaker up, I want to let you know, everybody within the sound of my voice, and those who may later hear it electronically, this is without a doubt the most important movement in Georgia. Since Forsyth County in 1987. Some of you may or may not know or may not remember Forsyth County. But that was a little county up in North Georgia, where at that time the last black person to live in that county had been moved out. Hosea Williams, Billy McKinney, and a small band of folk went up there in a protest. And they were met with rocks and bottles and curses. And Jose decided that we would have a march. And he let out a nationwide call for a march. And the black community, progressive whites, Latinos, women, people of goodwill responded to that call. And I remember gathering down near Ebenezer Church, where Dr. King's family, where he had been reared on that morning. And as I watched the people gather and load on the buses, I concluded that if I were going to get there, it would probably be better to go up in a car. And so I left along with my cousin and a couple of other folks, and we went to Forsyth County. And when we arrived, David Lucas will remember Bob Inslee, who worked with the Justice Department. Bob met me and said, Robert, how many people do you think are going to come? I said around 20,000. And the guy with the Justice Department laughed. His comrade was from the Justice Department and said, oh, no, that many people ain't gonna get up on Saturday morning and come up here. I said, you watch. So what they did was they sent word back to Atlanta and said that we just got information that there are going to be 20,000. He was kind of joking, laughing as he was talking back to his contact in Atlanta, that there are going to be 20,000 people in Forsyth County today. And somebody evidently told him, let me check it out. So about 15 minutes later, I'm still standing there at the contact post. And, they had a little entrance waiting for the march to start. And said, well, we just sent a helicopter up. We don't know how many folks will come. So we're trying to get an estimate. And they called back and said, well, you better prepare for 25,000. All right. And all of a sudden they had to make another call to the National Guard. It says there's going to be a lot more folks than we thought. Black people and white people of goodwill, progressives from around this country, focusing on Forsyth County. So much to the point that Oprah Winfrey ended up doing a show for them. There's another story to that I don't want to talk about. I think that was one of the most disappointing shows that Oprah has done. She excluded the black people from that process, talked to the whites in Forsyth County, but that's over. That's your show. That's over. Now, my main point is this. It doesn't take but a little spark to light a forest fire. And what is happening here in this county is lighting a fire. People are beginning to talk about this at a very low level. You know, see, it hasn't gotten as big as it's going to get. But the word is slowly but surely seeping out. That there's something unique and different that has happened in Brooks County. There's something unique and different that has happened in Quitman, Georgia. You know, and people are beginning to understand the importance and the hour that we in. See, when you look at Georgia, and you look at the demographics of Georgia, one of the reasons that people have such a fear, and that's what it is, such a fear of change. Because they know they've been beaten down so long, kept down so long. And when you start to rise up, they get fearful. So they start passing all kinds of crazy laws, trying to cut back on your opportunity for voting. They gave you 45 days, they said, oh no, that's too long. They got too many people to the polls. Obama came within 4 points of taking Georgia. You mess around here and give them a little more time, they'll take it. That's right. Obama would take Georgia. That's right. And see, the next time, the important thing about taking Georgia is this. You know, it's important. Yes, sir. Because, see, we've grown. Having another congressional district, that's right. That means another electoral vote. That's right. Every one of them counts. That's right. Yes. Every one of them counts. And when you look at the demographics of Georgia, we are moving, and I've said this, and David Lucas knows that I've said it for the last 10 years. I've said that Georgia population's demography, the demography of Georgia, is going to be the California of the East Coast. That's right. That's right. That's right. And if you look at California, you see black and brown and white and progressive. You know, and that's what Georgia is going to. Georgia is not going to be a sleepy little cotton-picking state.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, man.
The future of Georgia is a progressive state. That's right. A blue state. Yeah. A state that recognizes the equality of every man, woman, and child. Yeah. And that's where the fear comes in. And that's why they want to tamp down the Quitman Ten Picture. You know, and I just got to tell this before I bring up Brother Marcel. I was in my office one day, and my secretary said, you got a message. Somebody called you from Quitman, Georgia. And I'm thinking that maybe Dr. Gunner, because at that time I had made contact. Danny Foster had called and gotten all the background information on Quitman, Georgia. So I'm thinking it was one of the Quitman 10. And I looked at the message and it was from the newspaper. And I said, oh, somebody wants to talk to me. And I called back to the and Lord mercy. This lady told me, said, you don't know about these folks. Do you understand that they broke the law? Do you understand that they're going to jail? I said, wait a minute. Have they had a trial yet? No, but the G.B.R. has been in here investigating. I said, have they had a trial? No, but they, now you were the editor of the paper, Miss Ann. No, very appropriate name. Miss Ann. But then Miss Ann went on further. She said, well, it's you. It's going to be up to you to lose your credibility. You put your sentency at risk for associating with these people. But let me tell you something about it. One of the previous speakers made that quote from Dr. King, and I have another one for you. One of the things that you'll notice when people talk about Dr. King, they always want him to be dreaming. They always want him to be dreaming. They always want him to be asleep. That's why they try to pacify you with Dr. King. But Dr. King believed in creative tension. He believed, talk about it. And they always said, you know, that famous quote that even the Republicans use it now. They said, don't judge me by the color of my skin, judge me by the content of my character. But let me tell you something, what they don't do is they don't go to that next part of what Dr. King said about how you determine the quality of a person's character. Where he talked about, well, you know, you don't determine the real character of a person during times of comfort and convenience. You know, it's when in those times of conflict and controversy when you find out what the real character is. So in this time of conflict and controversy, who's standing with you? Who's speaking with you? Who's speaking for you? That's where you find out the character. And so with that, I'm going to bring on somebody who's continuing to carry the banner of Dr. King at the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Come on up, brother. I want you to give this brother a round of applause. He's so far from home that he'll need to follow the North Star. Brother Marcel, come on.